Hey guys, Dark Humility here, with progress on our hardcore solo soul found. We got here a bone necro in season 12 suffering, hardcore solo soul found once again. That has progressed to the point of crushing tier 1 and tier 2 maps. Not with teeth, but with bone spear. Now, teeth can do about the same. The way I see it is that maps that are more wide open, teeth is better in, and bone spear is better in the more narrow ones. And this seems to play out. I've definitely tested the different setups multiple times, and that does appear to be the case. Of course, I also have bone spear bases, which is really the key if you're going to use the Splendor white combo here, and that's going to make us do maximum damage. At any rate, I'm going to go over the stats, the skills, the mercenary, and the gear, and of course, I'm going to show you guys how it's performing at this stage in both the tier 1 and tier 2 maps, after also showing it briefly just to show the difference in LOD maps, or in LOD areas, like corruption zones. And honestly, it's pretty crazy how fast a build like this can progress, even when you can't trade, and it's always really cool stuff to take a look at. But at any rate, let's go check it out here. So we got enough strength to wear our gear like normal. Have done a respec, of course, since, so I can have 2 golems for mapping, because honestly, 2 golems just survives a lot better. Having 3 tanks instead of 2 if you count the mercenary. And obviously it also gives them enough health to really and truly tank maps, because if you only have 1 point in a golem mastery, it's not quite sufficient. So, all that being said, yeah, anyway, so you have enough dex, there's no points in a dex. And then I have like maybe 20 points into energy, because every point of energy converts better into bone armor than every point of vitality converts into life. However, that being said, Necromancer only gets 2 life per vitality point, which is why ultimately it is the case that I would say, like, the vast majority of your deaths on a Necromancer that are preventable, particularly on hardcore, are going to be caused by elemental damage. You just don't have a lot of life to deal with it, which is one of the reasons why I have Energy Shield on my Fire Golem late game video, because you can absorb so much more damage with that, on top of course, that consideration for the elemental damage, on top of the physical damage you can absorb from the bone armor. So even though I put all my points in energy there, it's still the same. It's still the same consideration. Anyway, we have max res. I'm just avoiding maps with poison damage, like really high poison damage, like the physical damage poison damage conversion stat. You'll notice here that it has physical damage as extra magic damage here, for instance. But you know, one of our test maps are gonna do, but it doesn't have the extra physical damage as extra poison damage. So yeah. At any rate, yeah, I just have pretty decent res there, pretty good. I actually have stacked fire res at this very second, because I was farming some Blood Raven. I don't know, one time she was able to lower resist me, which was kind of interesting. Maybe that's like a random mod she can have, but that can be dangerous. So I avoided that, trying to farm keys for Ubers. At any rate, we have 125 cast speed still. Always gonna want that. It is good to have some FHRs, so if you get stunned by an abominable or something, it doesn't like totally ruin your ability to play the character. And then we do have some life per kill. Now the life per kill is pretty crucial to have at least some, in addition to the regen provided by the mercenary here, so that you can sustain your life while blood warping at a low cooldown. 1 second here. I would say that's like the bare minimum. Mana per kill as well. We used to have more, I think, on the previous video, but we're kind of like barely getting by there on the current amount, so perfectly fine. And then of course, nothing else matters too much. When I use less fire res, it can have like closer to 253 MF. So I'm hitting a bit less MF as well, but that's because we actually found more items that can give us plus skills and have given us level 41 Bone Spear. So we're pretty high up there now. And all you really need is as many plus skills as possible. You want that max FCR if possible to get that maximum DPS. And then of course negative magic res, which you can get from the Sanctuary Aura that is native to the Ascendant Act 4 Light Mercenary. Of course, or Heaven's Light on the Act 5 Mercenary, as I showed before. Of course, if you're really rich, you can also get Asylum on those mercenaries and make this even stronger. At any rate, just skills real quick, still the same. Just max out Teeth, and then Bone Armor in that order on Hardcore, and then Bone Spear and Bone Spirit. And then you'll notice that I actually have 10 hard points into Golem Mastery to get the 2 golems. They can only be hard points, unfortunately. On top of that, though, top of the hard points, we actually, sorry, not 10 hard points, 5 hard points to go from 1 to 2 golems. 5 hard points, and then there's also Golem Mastery on the wand, so that's kind of cool. And then we just put the rest into Bloodwork for our low cooldown, so that we have great mobility for both LOD areas and maps. Now the Mercenary, once again, is a Light Ascendant Act 4 Mercenary. This Mercenary has Sanctuary Aura, which lowers magic resistance. Your damage type is magic on this build, so that aura provided by that, Asylum or Heavenly Garb, or both Asylum and Heavenly Garb, which will stack their levels to some degree, will give you, stack it up a little bit higher, that is, at least the Heavenly Garb will. And it will make the negative magic res good. So negative magic res means that when the Mercenary is near the monsters, you'll be doing even more damage to them, which is pretty cool. And so what we have here, though, is we're using Purity for Prayer Aura. Now you can get Prayer Aura, of course, from an Act 3 Mercenary too, so this is another thing you can do. However, an Act 3 Mercenary does not have Sanctuary Aura native. It also doesn't do Holy Bolts, and so this Merc will also use Holy Bolts, which will damage enemies a little bit, but will mostly also heal yourself and your golems, so it's just in general very nice. But once again, you can also go Act 3 Prayer Mercenary. You could do that, and there are ways to make that work as well. So I believe the Prayer Mercenary is the cold one for Act 3 if you want to go that approach. So there's a lot of very cool approaches you can do, of course, on this character, but I think this is probably the strongest considering the Sanctuary Aura that the Merc has naturally. The rest of the items literally just give him defensive stats like PDR. You'll notice here, if we look at his stats, press 8 on him specifically, he's got 40% damage reduction. That's really good. He also is barely hitting 75 cast rate. That's from the Occultist and some FCR here. And the fact that this is an elite staff that the Purity is made in, giving him 50 cast rate. Lower exceptional and normal bases will not roll 50, so that is something to keep in mind. Okay. But yeah, at any rate, that is all really cool stuff. And so, yeah, he's ready to go. He's going to help us out. Now you'll notice here, you might remember, we're still wearing white in Splendor, so I have not found a Bone Shade. Bone Shade would actually make me want to use Teeth more often, maybe, but the reason why Bone Spear outshines it is because its level is exactly the same. And I'd say at identical levels, Bone Spear is a little bit easier to use in more situations, because it pierces monsters, it has the same range as Teeth, but it hits so much harder. So it is, whereas Teeth just has a lot more AoE, and a lot more coverage. So that's kind of that's the main difference. You'll see I have Bone Spear Splendor, Bone Spear White. And then of course we have Q Hagen's here, which giving us the life per kill. I put a random life per kill jewel in it. It's the best I got. And we have found a Shaco. I don't remember if we had a Shaco in the last video I made. I don't think so. I found that in Arcane. I puzzled it for 2 sockets. We only found 1 so far, so it's not yet slammed. Still have this amazing amulet. And then, of course, you have 20 FCR rings still. You have a 38 life train gloves. Now, I could be using the 3 MPK one for a bit more sustain. It really could go either way at this point, but the life is nice, just having a bit of extra life. And then we have found Arachnid's Mesh just as of last stream. And then we found Stone of Jordan about 3 streams ago. Both of these were found in maps. And then we have a 70 MF boots. We have 3 P&B skillers now. We're using 2 3% magic LCs, and the rest of the charms are literally just stacking res at this point. Has some res MFers in there, but that's about it. As you can see, I've actually re-rolled level 90 charms to get that charm, so that's really sick. And then, yeah, it's just really cool stuff in general. And yeah. Very cool. But yeah, I would say overall that's kind of exactly what you want there. That's exactly what you want. So really strong, really nice, good stuff. Now, I'm sure you guys are wondering, we also have a CTA. I don't know if I had a CTA before as well, so I'm not using the Act 5 Mercenary. I kind of been swapping between the two depending on what I'm doing. Maybe to make me a little tankier because of the barb bow from the Act 5 Merc is quite a bit stronger. And if I don't want to die from something like Nillifox Corpse Explosion, I'll be using that. But we also made CTA as well, so we finally got the Malrune and the Istra, and I had some Ohms last time. And then we had the Lidless Wall there for 2 skills, so we've definitely found most items, I would say, that are pretty crucial. Not having the Bone Shade's kind of interesting, but that's about it. And honestly, you don't really need it too much, because as you can see, white with a really good base in some ways actually beats, at least for Bone Spear, it beats Bone Shade, but not Teeth, obviously. Teeth would be a lot stronger. So at any rate, I'll show you the difference in Chaos, if you guys might have remembered the last video. And let's just see how we do here. We're actually on filter level 3 for my personal filter too. You can check it out. It's the ADevDH filter, super clean filter, usable at all levels. Pretty much a plug and forget filter for the most part. And you don't have to really worry about nothing too much. Level 3 though gets rid of all the like low level socket bases, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, as you can see, yeah, our damage is pretty nuts now. Actually, I think I'm on level 4. Oh yeah, that's right. Switch it to level 4 so I get rid of the potions a bit. As you can see, they're pretty strong stuff. Okay. Alright, nice. Got the jewel. Boom. Awesome. Easy chaos run. And obviously this is one of the best farming areas, at least standard farming areas, but yeah. You can run the CZs just fine as well. Oh look, it's a heavenly garb. That's really cool. Let's see here. Heavenly garb, what is going on here? You can still do on CZs, get some world sim shards, and obviously it's got like map chance increase too this season, which is awesome. And obviously with 1 second cooldown, it is really good. Now you're probably really wanting to see, of course, is maps. So we'll show off these maps real quick here. Show off just how powerful you become. Level 5 Sanctuary Aura. See, unless it's another like level 6, I'm not really that interested in it. Not really. Okay. But as you can see though, so one thing that kind of sucks is that we still don't have CBF. But that's partially or mostly because I'm being greedy, if I'm being honest. I'm being greedy. It's true. If I wanted CBF with my current setup, I would have to get like CBF boots, so I'm wearing MF boots instead. So yeah, it's a little greedy, but nothing too crazy. Truth is though, is I have 75 cold res. Even if I do get chilled for a little bit, frozen for a little bit, it'll only bring me down to 75 CR because my base FCR is so high. So I'll lose 1 breakpoint. That's nice. But yeah, I mean, you can kind of see though just how crazy strong this is at this point now. Have great mobility that allows us to just kind of blast through the maps at this point. At least the lower tier ones. Not super comfortable going in the higher tier ones consistently yet with this build. Their damage is still not quite there, and obviously we do have some survivability limitations still. We don't have Torch, we don't have Annie. I like to have those things before we have them, but we got keys to try to get Torch and Annie, so I'm gonna see if we can get those safely. That doesn't happen. That's okay. But there's always more content to make, there's always more characters we can make as well, so really cool stuff. Oh, that's interesting. I left a large charm on the ground. Yeah. Pretty great cooldowns, great stuff. Could turn the filter down to level 4 if you still want to pick up the potions, but honestly you don't really need to pick up potions. You don't really use enough of them except for the jubes. You can just buy them in the beginning and just complete a map with what you have and be good to go. There's the boss. Just don't let your bone armor run out and you'll be good to go. Try to get closer to have the Mercenary get on top of her. That's really good. Whereas last session we found a vial. I have no idea what I'm doing with it, but I don't know. We're gonna have to find something worthy of it. Some kind of crazy non-eth weapon roll with, you know, perfect puzzle box, ED, deadly strike, something like that. And then most importantly, we need a build to use it, so let's see what we can do. Don't forget it's a Rebo. Oh man, look at that, Ormus ribs. It's pretty good considering got lower MF at the moment. Trying to have that extra fire is. Let's see here. Actually, even in this map, we still have 260 MF, so that's not bad. This is one of the better maps for Bone Spear, though, for sure, because it's a bit more narrow. Once again, those more narrow maps gonna be really key. But yeah, I mean, you guys can kind of tell it's going down here. Briefly show off a tier 2 as well. Bash and Keep, really good map. And show how that's performing. Alright, yeah, let's go check out that other map here. And show you guys tier 2, and that'll pretty much be it for this demo. Really important, of course, use the blood warp as often as possible. This is what I mean, you can just buy the potions in the beginning, because you don't use that many of them. I have 2 rows of health potions. As you can see, the filter's filtering them out at level 4, so it's kind of funny. We go to level 5, I guess it should filter out the large shrooms, right? Oh, well, it's already ID'd, so it's not the case, but yeah. I got a rerollable GC. That's really nice. But we don't want to do that, though. I do want to see large shrooms. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Options are too hard, man. Wow, it's a Blizzard Ormus with perfect cold. Sick. It is actually pretty impressive. 2 Zara's Sanctum maps. Wanted to wait till we got a little bit stronger to start banging those out, because that's a pretty dangerous map. But, you know. It's nothing too bad though. You'll notice that even on level 4, I don't bother like filtering out. Wow, that's a really cool shield base. That's can make a really cool Phoenix, like max block and shit. Don't go max block on a Necromancer. That's a bad idea. I see Conviction Aura on a Necromancer. I stand back. I don't have the kind of health to tank that. I don't have stacked res either, you know. Well, eventually, once you get res really stacked, it's possible to play with that. And see, this is the one weakness of Bone Spear versus Teeth, as you'll notice. Sometimes your lack of coverage is a bit of a limiter. But combined with Bone Spear and the other one, it'll be good to go though. And obviously in the softcore, you can always play a lot more aggressively, so just gotta be a little careful here. I have 4% DR, you know. I don't have any DRs, so if my bone armor goes down, dangerous times, dangerous times. Very dangerous times. Okay. But notice though, something like this is really tanky, so like Teeth would take a long time to take that down anyway. At least at level 41. Once you get Teeth really strong, I mean, you could mow down anything. You have to get like +1 corruptions on everything. You have to make sure you have more than 3 P&B GCs. You have your Torch, you have your Annie. We've been re-rolling charms like crazy though, and I actually have 9 trap skillers, so one of my skill types is already literally at max, so. Look how many rares still drop, it's crazy. Ooh, that's pretty good. It's a max damage lifer LC. Very nice. Very nice. Kind of cools my CTA swap here. We got we don't lose any res because my because White and Splendor have no res on them. I don't have to worry about like dropping my res and dying or something. Oh boy. This boss hits a little hard. Oh, he teleported to the golem. Okay. Wow, an Executioner's Justice. Woo. That's sick, actually. Executioner's Justice. And Bastion's Keep, if you go to the boss faster, just go back through the portal. Looks like I left a charm or a jewel on the ground. Oh no. It's okay, we're going back the other way. You notice I'm losing health though, but the LPK is fine. Ideally I'd have more LPK. This is why like Bone Flame is really good obviously. But then Bone Flame doesn't have FCR though, so. On SSF, once again, we kind of take what we can get. Oh well. That's a little spooky. And Cold Light Enchant with Conviction. We got really close to that mob. He might have been able to kill us. Would have zapped us real good. Maybe. And again, I pretty much one-shot most things, so. It's debatable. It's definitely debatable. Oh boy. What's that blue item on the ground? Oh, it's a small charm. That's even more sacrilegious, leaving small charm on the ground. Oh, oops. I'm gonna have to fix that. Doesn't come out ideally. Looks like it's missing a % there. Oh boy. Oh, he's a juve there. I got hit a lot. Ay, ay, ay. Nothing insane, but still. Gotta be careful sometimes about teleporting a little too far forward on him. Yeah, I think you guys pretty much get the idea though. I just wanted to finish the map to show you guys how fast you can blast through tier 2 here. It's got pretty ideal parameters for Bone Spear. Oh, nice. New PoE sound. Rune. Bare minimum. The rune has dropped. There you go, this map is destroyed. Heck yeah. So as you can see, we made a pretty strong build here on my SSF hardcore already. We'll probably do another update on him though when he gets like really strong at some point, if that happens before he dies. And of course we're gonna have other builds as well. Make sure of course to check out all of our build guides and other guides such as farming guides and whatnot this season, and mercenary guides, all that fun stuff. And check out all of them in general. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below if we made pretty good progress so far. I mean, we found a vial, so couldn't have been terrible progress, right? Well, anyway, Good stuff, guys. Good luck to you, whether you're playing on trade, softcore, solo self-found, hardcore, some combination of the two, however you're playing the season, and see you guys in the next one. Dark Humility, over and out. Let's get it.